Hello friends, I'm back with another video where I would like to explain on how to set up the Mac, like if you got the new Mac, or you know if you got a Mac where you want to set up the development environment for front end. So I'll be explaining that part here, and at the end of the video there will be some tips for Mac user also. Also, I'll briefly touch base on some of the extensions for Visual Studio Code, which will help you for better productivity. Best way to learn is by doing so. Follow along. Before starting, a quick note: if you have not yet subscribed my channel, please do so, which will help you and me both. First of all, let's open the terminal. So you can do simply by using the spotlight, type in terminal and then go to the application and open it. Apart from that, what we need for front end development, or what I'm going to cover in this video, is how to install iTerm2. So when I say iTerm2, it's basically a terminal alternate that we can use, which is quite productive. So you can simply search for iTerm2 and you can look into that particular software. Okay, so this one we'll be using as a terminal alternative. Then we'll install node and npm. So for node and npm we'll be installing nvm, so that which is like node version manager, which will help us to have different version of nodes for our development. Apart from that, we need a browser, of course. So if you have a new Mac, you might not have the Google Chrome. So we'll show you how to quickly install that also. And then we'll install Visual Studio Code. Okay. So before doing all these installation, we need some of the software that will help us to quickly install these tools. So let's get started and open the terminal. So, and in the terminal, simply type xcode select and then say install. So xcode select is basically a CLI, okay, provided by Apple. So just hit enter. Okay, my bad. So install should have a double hyphen here, and then hit enter. So it will give you some pop-up like this, where you need to click on install and then you need to agree, and it will takes a moment to download the software. Let's wait for this to be finished. So meanwhile, I'll give you quickly one tip. So open the system preferences, go to keyboard, and then you can see there are two sections: key repeat and delay until repeat. So set it to fast, the key repeat, and set delay until repeat to short. This will help you to uh, type quickly and delete any content quickly. So how this will help, let me show you. So I will just quickly open the text edit, click a new file, okay, and then type suppose lorem ipsum. Okay, so if I quickly try to delete this, you see there is no delay. But if you decrease the settings, okay, and then you again try to delete, you see this is very slow, right? So this quick tip will actually help you to be, type faster or delete the content faster. So this is one of the tip. Okay, so other tips I'll quickly show you later maybe. So this is about to complete, so let's wait for this. Now you guys might be thinking that why we are doing xcode select and install. So this will basically help us to install Homebrew, if you know. Let me show you that also. Search for Homebrew. So this is again a CLI, and it's quite good. On Mac, basically it can help you to install anything faster. So this is the Homebrew website. You can go here and have a look. Okay, so we'll go through this installation once the CLI is completed. We'll install Homebrew, and after that we'll install Cask, CASK. So if you search for cask brew, you will land up here. Okay, and as you can see in here, right, elegancy, simplicity, and speed to installation management of GUI macOS application such as Atom and Google Chrome. So this helps you to install any GUI based macOS application with command line. You don't need to like go to browser, search for that application, download it and install it. You simply type a command and you're done. Okay, so I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so this is very handy. Okay, so I'll quickly quit the Google Chrome. Okay, so the software is installed. So once you are installed with it, I would suggest you to close the terminal and then open it so that we can be sure it works the way we expect. All right, moving to the next thing. Once it is installed, you need to install Brew. Okay, for that, what you have to do is /usr/bin/ruby. So Ruby is basically, again, it provides a CLI which is inbuilt in macOS. So then put double quotes and dollar, then all these commands I'll put in description below, so you can copy and paste, but for tutorial sake I am just typing it. Okay, raw.github user content.com/homebrew and then /install/master/install and double quotes close and hit enter. So this may take some time, so we have to wait. My system might have the Homebrew, but don't worry about it. It will ask you for the password, enter it, hit enter, and just wait for that. Okay, it will take a couple of seconds, as you can see. So let's wait for that. All right, so as you can see, installation is complete. Okay, so move to the next thing. As I mentioned, we need to update our profile. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll type echo and then export path so that I can update the path variable accordingly, and I'll do usr/local/bin then colon dollar path in capital. Okay, and then just say double quotes and single quotes, then output it to tilde slash dot bash underscore profile. So you may need to update another profile like ZSHRC or something. So I'm not covering that part here, but yeah, I'll cover bash profile. So once you are typed in with this, just hit enter. Okay, so this will update your bash profile. Now, as I was telling that we'll be using cask, so let's install that. brew tab cask room/cask. Okay, so once you hit enter, it will again take some time to complete the cask installation. Okay, so just need to wait because it is cloning the repo and then it will do the installation for us. As I explained, this is very important to install Mac application, GUI application from terminal. No for no need to search for application in browser and installation. All right, so cask installation is complete. Now the time is to install our application. So as I mentioned before, I'll be using Visual Studio Code. I'll install Google Chrome and will install different like applications here. So let's type the command along with me. Brew cask install. So we'll use Visual Studio Code. If you need Google Chrome, you type Google-Chrome. Okay. If you need Postman, just type -Postman here. Then there is one quick tip here. So there is one app called Spectacle. I'll actually show you in Google Chrome. I do not want to deviate you, but still, this is quite handy app, Spectacle. Okay, this is open source and it will help you to manage your windows. Okay, so sorry, so just search Spectacle app and go here. Okay, and then you can see this thing. So the typical flow that we follow for installation of an app is we go and search for the app and then download. Once it is downloaded, to go to download folder and then double click and install, right? But the way I'm explaining, we can install through command line itself. No need to open the browser, download and all those stuff. Okay, so Spectacle is basically to manage your Windows on Mac, similar to the Windows operating system. They have this feature, but Mac lacks that. So to achieve that, you can use this particular application. Okay, so let's put that also, but I'm not going to install it, but for you I'll just type in here a Spectacle like this. I'm using some other app, but that's fine. So apart from that, there is an app called Lthread. This I'm using for my replacement to Spotlight. So if you want more information on this, again you go and just browse what this app does. So if you search Alfred, okay, so it will show you the Alfred macOS app, and then you can see. So this one has two different version. You can buy the power pack with to have more features, or if you don't want, it's fine. So basic uses the features that is available is more than enough. The good part is it basically, you can see the screenshot here. So the good part is it has some shortcuts also, to launch particular application when you type and search. The other thing is it it shows the apps and the files based on your usage. You no need to type too much. It's just typing less, as it says, right? Type less, say more. And other features are also there. You can go and find it out. Okay, so yeah, so that is one thing. So I'll type Alfred here. Then of course I need item 2, so I'll type that also. Apart from that, there are a couple of other applications if you want, like Slack for communication, or Spotify, or Sketch. So there are a number of applications that is available and you can install. But for this tutorial, what I'm going to do is I'll keep it simple so that we can start quickly. So as you can see, I already have Google Chrome installed, so I'll remove it so that we can save some time. And I'll also remove Alfred for this particular tutorial, but I'll go with Visual Studio Code and item because that is what we'll be explaining a bit more. So let's hit enter. So in your case, the command will be a bit different because you will have more apps mentioned here, which I'll add in the description, like which apps you can try and with the links. Okay, so let's hit enter and wait for it to get completed. Okay, so meanwhile it is getting installed. As I was explaining the Spectacle app, so I'm using something else here. So in my case, if I drag this window to like right hand side, you can see it snaps, right? Which is quite handy at times. Okay, so yeah, and for Alfred, basically, I'm using Spotlight Search. I haven't installed it, but you can set the keyboard to Spotlight, and what you can do is you can remove the Spotlight Search keyboard shortcut. So you can go here, then look for the shortcuts, then click on Spotlight, and you can simply disable the control command and space shortcut for Spotlight. Once you've done that and Alfred is installed, in Alfred window you can set the shortcut to command space, so it will completely replace your Spotlight. Okay, all right, it is asking for the password. So let's enter that and then hit enter. So as you can see, it is installing Visual Studio Code app, right? So now it is downloading item. Okay, so Visual Studio Code is already installed. If I want to check whether it is installed or not, I can go to the Finder, go to the application, and you can see it is there. Okay, similarly, it looks like item is already got installed, so item is also there. Okay, yeah, so installation is complete. Let's kill the terminal here now and let's open item. Okay, so that I can explain you what is the benefit of using item. Okay, so as I said before, my terminal may look a bit different due to ZSH that I'm using, but don't worry about it. Okay, so why to use item? One quick tip I'll give you is, suppose I have to use multiple windows or multiple tabs, okay, for my item. In this case, I can use one application with different views. So if I press Command D, it will split the terminal into two parts, right? As you can see here. Okay, and if I press Command Shift D, it will split it this way, uh, which is like horizontally. Okay, and the previous one was vertically. So you can have multiple windows or views into one application. So whenever you want to switch to another application, okay, you switch and you come back, you see all the terminal in one place. You don't need to, like, interact with the tabs or windows getting opened multiple times. Okay, so this is why I suggest item. Okay, all right. So for item, as I was mentioning, I'm using ZSH. So what I'll do is I'll put the links in the below description, but I'll quickly show you. So ZSH for item. Okay, so you quickly search for this. Okay, and there will be one. So there will be couple of articles, right? But ultimately, this is what I'm using. Oh my Z. Okay, so this particular one. So what you can do is basically you can follow this tutorial that they have. Okay, how to install, and they have the docs also, right? So this doc will actually help you to get started. So once you are done with the ZSH setup, or so this is the default look that will be visible. Okay, the terminal will look neat and clean. Okay, I'll put link for some of the themes also that you can use with item, okay, to make it look better. Okay, so moving to the next thing. So as in today's life, basically we are using Git very much. So we need Git for our versioning of the code base. So let's install Git now. So what you can simply do is say brew install and then say Git. Okay, for this you don't need to use cask, because Git is also a command line, CLI, right? So just simply pass brew install and Git. Okay, so just wait for a couple of seconds and it will be done. Okay, so once we are done with the Git installation, as you all know that Git has some global configuration and project based configuration also. So in our case, what I'll do is I'll quickly set up the global configuration so that I don't need to worry about like who is committing the code, because it's personal laptop, right? But if it's shared one, you can be very specific about it. Okay, so yeah, let's wait for this to get finished because it has some process to be done. Okay, so we are done here. So let's type clear, which will clear it up, and then check git double hyphen version. Okay, hit enter. So you can see it is showing me I have the git installed now. All right. Okay, so as I was talking about the configuration, so to configure your username and email, which get pushed along with the code as the information that who created the code or who pushed the code. So what you can do is you can say git config and then double hyphen global. So this will set it as a globally, but if you want to be project specific, you can remove the double hyphen global setup. Okay, so say global and then type user dot name and then your name. In my case, it is ElAnandKumar, and hit enter. Then say git config double hyphen global user dot email. Then type your email here. So okay, so type your email here and hit enter. Next, there is one thing that I would like to explain here is set up this particular thing. So say git config global and then say credential helper. Okay, it's dot helper and then say osx key chain. This is very important to avoid entering the password every time you do the git operation. So this is a Mac specific. You do this and hit enter. So this will actually enable the credential helper. So it will ask for you the username and password for your Git, but once and then it will store it in Mac OS keychain, which is safe. No need to worry about that. And going further, it will not ask you for the password for that repo. All right, which becomes quite handy. Okay, so our Git setup is done. Okay, then as I was uh, telling in the beginning that we need node and npm. So for that, what we are going to do is we'll type brew install and nvm. So I was talking about nvm, which is node version manager. This will help us to install multiple node version and we can switch between them. So it will take a couple of seconds. So meanwhile, I'll show you that what nvm is. So nvm, and let's say nvm install. Okay, so it will take us to one of the site, node version manager, the first link most probably. So let's go there and you can see they have quite good documentation here. So how to install and all, but because we are using brew, we don't need to go through all these hassle. So that is why brew is very powerful. You don't need to go through all these typings and all, the simple command. Okay, all right, so this one is done, right? Again, because we have installed nvm, what we have to do is basically uh, updating the bash profile so that we can use it. So what we have to do is say echo and then say source and then dollar, then say brew. Okay, and then say prefix nvm and then nvm.sh. So this will tell us that so brew prefix nvm basically gives us the path where it is installed, and then there is a shell script file available there which will output to our bash profile. Okay, so yeah, hit enter. Okay, okay, so seems I did a typing mistake here, so it's prefix. Okay, so all right, so this one is done. So once it is done basically, so you can see we have to start the terminal. So let's close this out and then let me open the item again. Okay, so nvm is installed. I think that error we can ignore for now. So what we can do is we can say nvm install stable. So when we say stable, it basically installs the latest node version, which is 11 point something. So let's see node. So if you go and google node.js and you see this 10.151 is LTS and this one is current. So when I say stable, it will install the current one, which is stable. So let's install that. Okay, this will take couple of seconds. Okay, all right, so download is complete and then it is extracting and matching. Okay, so it says nvm is not compatible with nvm config prefix option. Okay, so but it is also providing you a hint here. Okay, so let's use this hint. So yeah, I can see I also faced this issue on some other Mac. Okay, but anyway, don't worry about it. If it is after using this command that it is suggesting, if it is still doesn't work, put the question or the concern in your in the comment section below. I'll provide you the solution for that. Okay. Okay, so for now, let's move ahead. So as I typed node version, I got 11.9.0, and then I can say npm hyphen version 2, which will show me 6.5.0. Okay, so this one is done. Now, as I already showed you that Visual Studio Code is already installed. So now this one was like installing all the software, the necessary one like Git, Node, npm, Visual Studio Code, Google Chrome. All these softwares are already installed. Item, okay. For item, I already shown you. You can configure ZSH. Why ZSH? Basically, I have shown you one of the things. So you can see there are a couple of plugins for ZSH like syntax highlighting and autocomplete. So you can see if I type, it shows me the auto completion hint. So for these plugins, how to install and all, you can follow along with another video that I have. Okay, all right. So all the tools and installations are already complete. So let's move to the next part of this video where I will show you which plugins I'm using for Visual Studio Code for better productivity. Okay, so let's kill this iTerminal and also close this particular Finder. Let's open Visual Studio Code. Okay, so for the first time, it will take a bit of time, to verify and all. So it's fresh installation. Okay, so once your installation is done, it will open with this release note that you can see here. Okay, now I'll quickly show you one thing. So if you need to change any settings, what you can do is you can press command and comma or go to preferences and click on settings. Okay, and here basically you can type for any settings you would like to. So let's say I'll say font and then size. Okay, so it will show you and highlight it here. So I'll, for example, I set font size to 18. Okay, so it will change the font size to 18. Okay, so let me open a folder. It could be a blank folder. So on desktop, let's say new folder and sample, create and open. Okay, so as we are like front-end developer, we are mostly working on um, JavaScript file or HTML or anything. Let's create a main.js quickly. Okay, and you can see the syntax highlighting and all those stuff, right? So my suggestion would be for you to go with the Fira code font. I'm not sure if I have that font in my system, but I can try. So what we can do is basically use Fira code font. Okay, so I don't have it. So let's install that this particular font, which looks nice, and if you enable ligature, it will look really cool. Okay, so Fira code font. Okay, so search for this in Google and click on this first link, monospaced font with programming ligature. Click here and then download check. Okay, so meanwhile it is getting downloaded. What we can do is in Visual Studio Code, basically you will see one tab here called extensions, right? So this one is what we will be looking at. But okay, so download is complete. Let's open this, go to the folder. There will be a dist_r folder, then open the ttf, select all the font. Okay, command A, and then right click it, open, then say install. Okay, so as soon as it is installed, you will see it here. Okay, Fira code. Okay, and then restart the Visual Studio Code so that the changes can take effect. Okay, so font is already installed and you can see the changes is there. As I have told you, we can enable ligature. So type ligature and enable this particular checkbox. So what ligature does? So you know the arrow function, right? So if you type it like this, see how it looks, right? It looks really nice. See, okay, not equal to. So this is like this looks cool actually. That's why we should install it. Okay, all right. So let's move to plugin section here, the extensions which VS Code calls it. So click on this particular tab. It will show you some popular plugins or recommended plugins, but I'll show you which one I'm going to use. Which I used on daily basis. For the programming, we look for better syntax highlighting, color code for the syntax and all those stuff, right? And we also need some good UI. So first one is material theme. Okay. So search for material theme and there will be two things that I would like you to install. Material icon theme. Okay, so this one is for showing all the icons. This is actually, and you can see the number of installation, right? It's quite popular, and this will help you to distinguish between different files visually. Okay, so JavaScript or CSS or SCSS, you can quickly distinguish based on the icon. So quickly click on install. Okay, so it is installed. So with the latest Visual Studio Code, you don't need to reload the Visual Studio Code itself. Okay, so it will install. Then we have a material theme. I really like that, the dark mode. So I'll quickly install that also. Then there is something called bracket color pairizer. Okay, so let's see, bracket pair colorizer. Okay, I'll put all these names in the description below so that you can search, copy and paste. So this particular one, what it does is basically instead of having one colored bracket all the places, it will change the bracket color based on their usage in the code, which will help you to distinguish between opening and closing of the bracket like visually, right? So because color says a lot of things about what it is there on the screen. So yeah, so let's install this also. The next one is I have is something called indenticator. Okay, indenticator. So this one is to help you to show these guidelines. See here the line. So it will help you to easily see which code block you are in. Okay, where is the opening and closing? The complete code block can be seen visually, and visual things are more impressive, right? Then I have something called import cost. So these days, like we are using import a lot, right? But also we need to have an eye on the library that we are using, what is the size and all those stuff. So this will help you to know that what size you are having for import. So as soon as you require a file or you say import, it will show you the size of that particular import. Okay, moving to the next one, which is my favorite, which is git length. Okay, so this git length is something that as name says, right, gets supercharged, and it is actually. Okay, so this is quite handy. For each line you can see who has who did the changes and when. You can see in the screenshot. So once you search for this, you can look into more details, but this is actually really handy. Okay, so let's install that also. And then uh, there is something called ESLint, right? ESLint, we all know what ESLint is, right? So this one will help you to sanitize your code base, okay, better, and to keep it error free. Okay, so ESLint I have installed. The next one is Prettier. So Prettier I use for code formatting. So Prettier, uh, select and then install. Once Prettier is installed, I would suggest you to turn on a setting called, so open the settings and type format on save. Okay, and turn this on. So this will, how this will help. So let's write a function. Okay, const test equals to function. So this particular setting, we have turned it on, and then let's type something cluttery, right? Const test function, then console.log, and say we have some other information also like a return, and then say uh, test. Okay, so it's not readable, right? And we can of course format it manually like this: enter, then enter, enter, enter. Okay, or what we can do is we can use a command here, command shift p, which actually opens this, and then we can say type format document. It will do this. But what if we can format it automatically? So that's why we turned on that settings, right? And then if you have something like this, you can say simply command s and it will format. No need to do things like going into command, typing format, or formatting manually. Okay, just write the code, and you are just write the code, save it, and it will automatically format, right? So the next and the last plugin is going to be auto rename tag. Okay, before installing it, I'll show you what it would be the use case for this. So let's say I have an HTML page, okay, and then I have some content here. Okay, now I need to rename a particular tag, for example div to be header, but you can see the tag didn't get updated. Okay, so this auto rename tag can help us to rename the tag automatically, the closing tag. So let's move to the plugin section and search for auto rename tag. Okay, and install it. Once it is installed, let's move back to that HTML page and then try to rename this div to header. As you can see, the tag automatically gets renamed. So that is this particular plugin, which is quite useful. Okay. Now, there were a couple of plugins that we have installed, but I haven't shown you how it works or how it looks. So let's go with that one. The first one is the material theme and material icon. So let's change the icon. So you can search file icon in command panel and hit enter. Then there are a couple of options you can see here, material theme icon. Let's go with the default one, okay, material theme icons. Okay, and then it says do you want to reload to apply material theme icons to enjoy this? So say yes and reload. Now you can see these icons have updated. Next one is material theme, so you can search for color theme and then go for material theme. There are a couple of variations for material theme, but I use the default one. Now it is your personal preferences which one you want to use. If you don't like material theme, you can opt for any other theme also from Visual Studio Code Marketplace. So let's enable this. It will ask you to reload for icon. We can do that, no problem. Okay, so this covers our this particular material theme and material icon. There are a couple of other plugins that we have installed which you can go and explore, but here I'll explain a bit. So for GitLens, they have quite good documentation here and it show you how it works. So that is pretty good. Similar to import cost, also it has a quite good documentation here and it shows how it works. So you can uh, explore these plugins, and if you want you can explore other plugins also. So yeah, go ahead, look for the plugins which best suits you and your development style. Install it, try it out. If you don't like it, uninstall it. Okay. Okay, so that concludes the last one plugin that I'm using. There are a lot of plugins that you can explore and try that out. These were a few of them that actually helps me in the development. Okay, so that was a part of all the front end things that I have. Apart from that, as I have said, I have a couple of tips and tricks for you. So what we can do is basically let's go to that. Okay, so let's close this out So some of the tips I already given in between, but let's see. So in my case, I prefer to drag a window by three finger on the trackpad. Okay. So, but that feature is hidden. If you go in here, you won't find it in the trackpad settings. But we are in trackpad settings, so what you can do is by default on new Mac, this tap to click is disabled. So enable this. This will help you to, instead of, pressing the trackpad, you can simply tap and it will work. Okay. So that is one of the thing. And then go to the more gestures and here turn on this app expose. What it will do is I'll show you. So let me turn it on. Okay. And then for example, I say terminal, open the terminal. Okay. And then open a new terminal here. Okay. So I have two terminal. Okay. Suppose it is stacking on top of each other. Okay. If you switch the application, you can't see that another window, right? It is behind the this terminal. Okay. And this can happen with browser or any other application. You can have multiple window, right? And in most cases, you have it like this. So there is one keyboard shortcut to switch between the same applications window, which is command and backtick. You see? Okay. So suppose this is also full screen, right? So you can switch by command backtick, but we are in habitual of using command and tab. But with command tab, you don't get that window. So that is one of the uh, uh, shortcut command and backtick to switch between. But the app expose that I have just enabled, what it does is as soon as you are in application, drag with forefinger downwards. Okay. And you can see the window here. Isn't that cool? Right? And then you can easily switch between. You don't need to press any keyboard shortcut. So in the demonstration here, if you hover over app expose, it will show you. So four fingers downwards and it will show you the window. If it have a one window, it will show you like this. Okay. And as soon as you hover over it, it will show you the highlight, which window you are selecting. Right? Okay. Now I was talking about the three finger drag. If you want to enable it, what you have to do is go to accessibility. It is kind of hidden feature. So and then you have to go to mouse and trackpad. Then here you have to set trackpad options and then turn this on, enable dragging. Okay. And then from drop down, select three finger drag. As soon as you do this, you can drag the window with three finger. Okay. So this was one of the tip. Okay. Then for keyboard, I already given you the tip. Apart from that, the dock. Okay, we use the dock, right, to show, hide, and all those stuff. I would suggest you to a couple of things here. So go to the dock. Okay, or system preferences. You can go and then dock. So reduce this icon size. Okay, a little bit. Okay, this will help you to have more icons if you want to, and set the magnification not very much, like just a little bit. Okay, which will give you a bit of idea which app you're on. Okay, then there is one animation opening application, turn it off. No, it's actually not needed because most of the time you use command tab and all applications are already like open for you, right? So better to turn it off, and then you can turn on automatically hide and show the lock the dock. Okay. But now the thing is, if you see, there is a bit of delay, right, for the dock. What we can do is, uh, we can, you know, reduce this delay. Okay, so for that, you just need to type a command. I'll put it in the description, right? com.apple.Dock, and then auto hide, because it's auto hide delay and delay, then say float 0 colon, then say kill all dock. Okay, and hit enter. So you will see what happens here. Okay, you see it becomes a bit faster now, right? You might not notice maybe in video or something, but it's a personal opinion here. It is faster because there is a delay set in by Apple by default, and we now have it as 0, so it will make it faster. Okay, so that was another uh, tip for you. Then there is one tip for Finder. So what we can do is go to Finder and then Preferences. Okay, and here first of all what we can do, I like is actually I don't like anything on the desktop, so I simply hide it. Then set this new Finder window to show your user folder instead of recent. Okay, then in tags, I don't use it. I'm not sure how many people use the tags, so you can simply go here and disable all the tags because I don't use it. Okay, and this actually eats my space in the sidebar. So if I don't use it, why should I have it in the sidebar at the first place? Okay, then in the sidebar you can turn these also on, which will help you to, and you can turn off recent if you want. It's your personal choice, but I turn off tags also. In advance, there is a show all file extension, right? If you want, you can turn it on. Okay, and then there are other things here like keep folders on top. So this particular setting, keep folders on top, I always like to have it in Windows when sorting by name and on desktop. Okay, on desktop is optional. I mean, it's just personal preferences. I don't recommend. Okay, now if I go to any folder, let's say I open desktop. Okay, so you see the short how it is sorting right now. But if I again say here sort by and then name, so you will see even if I say by name, it is sorting the folder first by name and then the files, which is quite handy. So all folders at the top and then all the files. So that was last tip regarding Finder. Okay, so that concludes the video for today. Okay, I hope this will help you guys to get started and save some time. So I'll quickly conclude what we covered. So we covered how to do the setup for front-end development using Brew, NVM, Terminal, Visual Studio Code, browser, and all those software. We also covered some of the extension that I use in Visual Studio Code, and it will definitely help you all. Then I covered some of the tips and tricks along with the video to make you more productive. Okay, so yeah, so in case of any question or help needed, right, so please add it in the comment section below and I'll try to answer as soon as I can. And do not forget to like and subscribe. Okay, it's very important for me and for you also to get notified when any new video comes in. Thank you so much.